Hey y'all, Shane Sams here. I'm the host of the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast. Super excited that you have decided to join me today and listen in to the show. Now, each week I help a real member of the Flipped Lifestyle community take their business and their life to the next level. We hang out and we talk for about an hour. They ask me questions, I help them find answers, and then we let you listen in so you can reap the benefits of that conversation. But I am really excited today because I have 6 guests on the podcast. Number 1, Jocelyn is coming back on the show. About a year and a half or so ago, Jocelyn decided that she wanted to be less on camera, less on the microphone, and more in the back end of everything that happens here at Flipped Lifestyle. So she stepped away from the podcast hosting gig and started running more of the operations side of our company. But she is back on the program today. She did not want to miss this because we are hanging out with 5 amazing women from the Flipped Lifestyle community. Today, you're going to hear our conversation with Cheryl, Rena, Kareem, Yolanda, and Carolyn. These amazing ladies formed a mastermind inside of the Flipped Lifestyle community. They all joined the community and then they participated in a program that we launched for people who wanted to take their business and their life and their relationships to the next level. They got together many years ago through this program, and they have been in a mastermind together ever since. They built their businesses together. They built trust with one another, and they talked to each other about family and relationships and marriage and parenting. And last year during the pandemic, they leaned on each other to not only survive everything that was happening, but to motivate and encourage each other to thrive even though it was happening. Now, I'm going to warn y'all, I get emotional in this episode, guys. There's at least 2 times where I'm pretty much a crying, sobbing mess. When I hear the impact that not only the Flipped Lifestyle community, but this mastermind that formed within Flipped Lifestyle helped these ladies find friendships that were deeper than anything they had had before, helped them overcome challenges in their personal life and in growing their business, and continues to be a source of great value in their life today. It really impacted me on a deep level because that's what we're all about here at Flipped Lifestyle. We're not just an online business course. We're not just a sales and marketing company trying to sell you our next latest greatest training. We started this podcast and we opened this membership to build a true community of family-focused entrepreneurs from around the world who unite together, succeed together, fail together, and do life together. And that's what these ladies are doing. They are truly doing life together. They are a powerful example of what's possible with masterminds. So I decided to invite all of them on the podcast today. They call themselves the Voxy Ladies. I'm going to let them explain that to you. We're going to get to know them, and we're going to learn about the power of masterminds, how masterminds can not only impact your business, but also your personal life in an extremely positive way, and how you can find and join a mastermind too. We've recorded over 500 episodes of the Flipped Lifestyle podcast, and I can tell you honestly, this is one of my favorite recordings I've ever been a part of. So without further ado, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Welcome to the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast, where life always comes before work. We're your hosts, Shane and Jocelyn Sams. We're a real family that figured out how to make our entire living online. And now we help other families do the same. Are you ready to flip your life? All right, let's get started. We are pumped to be with you today on the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast. One, because Jocelyn has emerged from behind the scenes to come on today's podcast today. So hi, Jocelyn.
Hey, hello. I'm happy to be back today.
So you know that this is a very special occasion because we don't just have one Flipped Lifestyle community member. We don't just have 2. We don't just have 3. We've got an entire mastermind on the podcast today. So I'm going to ask everybody to unmute, and I'm going to go back to gallery view, and we're going to say hi to everybody. So everybody, just how you doing, guys? Unmute.
Hi, Jocelyn. Woo! It says 7 people on a podcast.
Yeah, there are 7. Yeah, there are 7 people on this podcast right now. So we thought it would be amazing to talk about masterminds today, and we brought the rock star Voxy Ladies Mastermind from the Flipped Lifestyle community onto the show, and we're going to talk about the importance of masterminds and the difference that masterminds really play not only in our entrepreneurial journey but also our life. So before we get started, I'm just going to go around the horn here. Let's go up to Cheryl, and everybody introduce yourself, give a shout out to your brand or your business or your website or whatever you want to do. And just tell us real quickly, like, what you're doing right now.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much, Shane and Jocelyn. I'm Cheryl Tan. I'm a media trainer. I work with corporate teams to help them use video more effectively. And being part of your community has really changed my life, I'll be honest. So thank you for that.
That's what you got to hear. That's what we're here for, right? All right, let's go down to Rena. Hi, Rena.
Hi there. So I'm Rina Orellana, and I am a flamenco dancer. And so my online component is the online flamenco studio. So I teach women how to dance flamenco.
All right, we're going to keep this in check here. So here's a mastermind. We got a media specialist, PR. We got a flamenco dancer. So we're just going to keep up with this. Everybody's like, I got to have an exact fit for my mastermind. Everything's got to be the perfect fit. No, we're already dancing and on TV. So we're going here. All right, Kareem, what's up?
Yes, can I say this in Spanish? So we are very diverse.
Do it both. Yeah, man. Spanish. Anybody else speak any other languages? We'll just go worldwide with this one.
Hi, everyone. So I'm Kareem Morato. I help parents at home to educate bilingual children. Even when they don't speak Spanish. That's my passion, and building not just a business, but I am also helping build a movement. And so I love being here today because I feel like I am with my mama, papa, that they literally brought me into the business world. And I am super happy to be here.
All right, what's up, Carolyn? How are you?
Hey, well, my business is Play to Behave, and I'm a veterinarian. I have a special interest in behavior, so I use just positive methods, no fear, force, or pain. And I don't know, you started me on this whole Ask Me Anything, and it's been life-changing, really. Nothing has been as pivotal as this group that I'm in.
Oh, wow.
Well, and I'll say on a personal level, we're very appreciative of Carolyn because she's helped us so many times. We were brand new dog owners. We had absolutely no idea what we were doing.
Oh my gosh. I had no idea what I was doing. Our first dog. I mean, that poor dog, it was like our training wheels dog. I hate to say it. I loved him so much, but like now we have 3 amazing dogs and we actually know what we're doing because of Carolyn. So.
And we love all these people, everybody on this call. We have like a special connection with all of you guys, but I'm just really, really appreciative of that.
Our dogs could burst in here. They're too big. Like the locks on our French doors to our bedroom can't hold them out, and they just ram it and they just run in here whenever they want.
Okay. I have to laugh here because you guys, when you first talked to me, you're like, that dog will not ever come in our house.
I know, right? That all 3 of them like literally sleep
and I'm
in
like
our
listening,
bedroom.
Going, right, sure.
Well, I will say they have not made it to the furniture yet.
They've not made it on the furniture.
I'm holding strong on that one.
Yeah, so they run the show right here. And then we've got Yolanda. Hey, Yolanda.
Hey, you guys, it's so sweet to see you. So a lot has happened since I saw you guys. So this last year, when I knew you, I was doing Tibet travel and I continued to do that. But of course, during COVID, that's gone down. So last year, I retired from my day job at University of California, and I started a new business, which is self-care for stressed out women entrepreneurs so that they can have peace of mind and still get things done. And you guys, there's this track that runs in my head, like from time to time, like pretty frequently, of like, done is better than perfect, no sugar. And I bet I say boom shakalaka to myself like once a month.
Yes, my work here is done. That's really the only reason I do this, is to plant my crazy sayings in people's brains.
I'm very sorry for that.
They're there. They're stuck.
That's awesome. That's absolutely amazing. Well, you guys are all extremely amazing people, special people who just crush it. And I wanted to talk to you guys today about how you guys kind of first came together. All right, let's start there. Like, how did you guys go from, okay, we follow these 2 people from Kentucky, and now we're in this forum and hanging out. Why? I don't know what we're doing here. We're just hanging out and talking business. And then how did you guys first come together? So maybe I'll go to who started this? Who were the first 2?
You did. We all started this because it was a mastermind like a group that you created, or like a mastermind session.
Oh,
and
it was a workshop.
Session,
yeah,
it was like a workshop thing, like a month-long thing, and then we had the Voxer group that went with it, and then we just stuck around with it. That was it.
Oh wow, that's absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
so what year was that when you all started?
That was like 4 years ago.
Oh no, it was more than that.
I think 2016.
Yeah. 2016.
Well,
We're
you have to
getting
remember
up
we're all
there.
working on Bizarro World COVID time, so it was actually 24 years ago because last year counts for 13, right? So like 2016, you guys just started talking, and you just got stuck with it, and you've been together ever since through ups and downs and thicks and thins and all that.
And that's kind of an eternity in internet time, you know.
Oh yeah,
That's
right.
A long time.
If you had internet plus COVID, you guys have known each other 72 years, like right now. Did you know that? Right.
Not to mention that I think we're on that Voxer almost every single day for
Man,
all
that's
those
amazing.
years.
That's amazing.
It's incredible.
Could you have ever thought that a relationship like that could be built in this virtual way? Because we were Zooming before Zoom was cool, y'all. You know what I mean?
Yep, that's
And
for
like,
sure.
Could you have ever thought that before?
I will tell you, I have 3 sons and a husband, so I'm the only female in a house full of boys. And when the Voxy ladies come on, when they hear something on my phone from one of the women here, they're like, "Oh, it's your Voxy ladies again. Stop."
You talk to them more than us, Mom. Come on now.
I do. But I think the Voxer relationship is great, is in our own time. We share our thoughts, we give feedback in our own time, and yet we still connect and create that relationship. And over the years, some of us have met in person, which has been really cool.
That's really, really cool. Anytime you can eat, it just goes, the relationship just keeps getting deeper and deeper, like the farther you go. And it's always interesting to me how masterminds form, because masterminds often form out of a business relationship. But then as you help each other through crises, as you help each other take your game to the next level, you do start getting more personal, and you start peeling back the layers to where they're friends and they're almost family at that point. So let's talk about business first. I'd love to hear some stories about how you got to the point you are now, or how your mastermind specifically helped you in the beginning. So let's go back to like 2016. You guys are all coming together, you're forming businesses. What was like one of the pivotal moments in your business journey that, you know, it was like, if I had not had my mastermind there, I probably wouldn't have made it through this, or at least excelled through it like I did? And I'll just open this up for anybody. Like, can you remember a moment where you're like, I'm going out of business, and your mastermind jumped in to like help you? I see Kareem raising her hand down there.
Yeah, I did. You know, last year was an extremely hard year for me, and I really wanted to quit. And I disappeared from the group. I didn't even want to explain to them. It's just like, I'm gone, ladies, and disappear. And each one of them reached out to me outside the Voxer, and just wanted to know what's going on. They, no one, what happened to your businesses? What happened to you? What can we do? And even offer professional help that they, that they know, like, okay, I have somebody that can help if you need help. So it was very touching for me to just see that even though I was gone, they were sending those emails, sending me those phone calls, and just making sure I was right. And then they, no pressure, whenever you're ready. And they waited for me, like maybe it was 2 months, ladies. I don't know, but they literally, to tell you the truth, I thought, that's it. I'm not coming back to the group, because it was I felt like this connection, and I was like, there is no way I can go back. But they were waiting for me like nothing happened. They just built me up where I was. There was no question, nothing. And and they really embraced me back. It was an amazing experience.
I did not expect me to almost cry 5 minutes into this podcast. Okay. Because like that's crazy, because like I think about how many people give up, right, on their dream or on anything they're doing. And 9 times out of 10, it's just because you're alone. Like, that's what it is. Like, we see people quit in our own membership community, right? And it's because they don't have someone necessarily right there at a deeper level to come and get them when they're gone.
There have been so many moments, and it's usually like before a launch or like in the middle of some big thing where you're just drained and you're emotionally fraught. It's like everything is just messed up and down. I'm just speaking for myself, that I can just go to the group, and it's not necessarily that I'm going to quit because I'm like super stubborn and whatever, but I just feel so down and so doubtful of myself and such a failure. and it's not, and sometimes I get like a rah back and whatever, but mostly it's just like real heartful understanding, and like maybe some little baby step I can take to be a little more, just like a practical thing that I can do to just like take a step out of the crazy.
Yeah.
Right.
Pull yourself out of the mess.
Yeah, it's been and also just like, hey, this is reality. Like, you're in some craziness, and then it's like, hey, this is reality. And it's just like, it's like a warm bath, like like much more than just like business advice. And because we know each other's businesses for so long, they know everything. I know everything, like about their business journey. It's like you can kind of talk shorthand. It's like, oh, so I mean, I have found that invaluable. I can't even count how many times.
That's amazing, because Jocelyn and I were really lucky when we started, because I mean, we knew nobody in entrepreneurship, but we like had each other, right? And it was kind of like this weird thing. I think that's what kind of like innately programmed connection into everything that we did after that, because even when we started teaching online business, like we knew like, well, the only reason we do it is because we have each other and we can push each other, and we cover up each other's weaknesses, we magnify each other's strengths, right? And that's what you're saying here. It's like when you get to know somebody on that level, like everybody gives advice about like, oh, well, here's the emails you should write, or here's a tactical little subject line. But no, it's like, oh yeah, but remember when you did that same day your kid had a 200-degree fever and you had to stay up till midnight after they puked on you? Like, I mean, when those things, like you're like, yeah, you're not giving up. You're getting through this launch, right? And it makes it go to a deeper level.
I just say, like Yolanda, I've quit many times in my head and they stopped me. But I think what's also been special is that we would want to quit on our husbands or on our kids or, something else in our life. Right?
Jocelyn would know nothing about that situation.
Oh, no, for sure.
And it's just so nice to have this support group. It's like having a family of sisters who, have support, know our most intimate, I would say, details about our lives. And that's been really special. So and that affects business.
100. It's all tied together. That's the big thing you realize once you start a business is, oh, my family life is going to impact this. My parenting, my marriage, my hobbies, everything is so tied together. When you're the entrepreneur, you can't disconnect it, right? Everybody wants to join a mastermind. I actually said this to Aaron Walker, a good friend of mine, that I said, I thought masterminds at first were you just find rich people to hang out with rich people and they show you how to be rich people. Like, I thought that was what a mastermind was at first. It was just all business all the time, right? But then when I saw these superficial groups and how everybody was like really struggling, and then I got into one where people were like, hey, how's your marriage? Hey, how you doing with that thing that happened to your son or your daughter? Like, that was when I was like, oh, that's what's holding me back.
One of the things I know you say, Shane, all the time is they come for the content, but they stay for the community. And I wasn't looking for a community when I joined your community, but then got this. And, when you're in the moment, when you're starting the process, you don't think it's going to be anything more than a couple of months that you're going to be together. And then you don't even think about it. But looking back, you realize that is what is holding you together and how it's helping you grow. I mean, I'm looking around this room, there's so much wisdom. And what's valuable is, because we do it on Voxer and we're not live all the time. Voxer is that chat app that I can still hear the things that they say to me days later. It's like the wisdom is not just for that day, but something Yolanda said or something Kareem said or Carolyn or Rena said, you remember as you're going through something later. And that's the valuable, and that's our community.
Yeah, that's amazing. So,
now you're making me cry.
I'm gonna cry. We're all gonna cry. I'm just sitting here like,
no tears.
I've got the little thing on Zoom that cleans my face up though, so you can't see the tears, and it makes me look 5 years young. And then I wore my hat so you can't see the gray on my wings right now going on. So, but I am good. I've been misty eyed since you all logged in. So, Rena.
Well, it didn't really, I mean, it started off very slowly though. I mean, like we've been together for like 4 or 5 years, and it was just a very slow progression where, excuse me, where we, we first were just all about business, all about business. And then slowly, like little pieces of, personal stuff would come out. And, frankly, for me in the beginning, I was like, well, I don't know if I want to start sharing all this stuff. Maybe I want to just keep it to business. But, just eventually, and we just stuck together. And the more we talked, the more we actually share our own personal lives. And what's even more amazing is that we encourage each other, or we've learned so much from each other just on like personal growth. So not only like business strategies or sharing our day-to-day lives, but it's just like that personal growth. It's like, oh well, this person just learned this thing from this person, and now, oh well, now I take that knowledge and apply it to this, and we just keep sharing and just kind of encouraging each other on that personal growth as opposed to just business. So that part is just really wonderful there. We're all like-minded in that personal growth is very important, and it just really sustains us.
Yeah, that's why it's important, I think, in a mastermind to find, like, you have to be in a place where you can find like-minded people. We don't have to do the exact same things. Like the mastermind that I'm really deep involved with, we are all really different. Like it's totally different business models. It's kind of crazy that we can even speak the same language sometimes, because we're all online, but we're all doing like really different things. We all lead in really different ways. But like, it's funny how the vehicle of online business or entrepreneurship coupled with the like-minded spirit, like we all want to be better at life. We all want to be better for our children. We want to leave some kind of legacy. And like when you pull that together, you're talking about business and those little things slip in. It's almost like, have you ever done this? Have you ever been in your mastermind and you're talking and you say something and you're like, I can't believe I just told them that. Who are these people? Like, how did they? I've never told anybody but my wife that. And why did I tell these people that? Right? Like, have you ever had that moment before where you had those that happen?
Yeah, we have to recall some messages sometimes.
Like,
delete, never mind.
All right, everybody knows, and we're getting rid of it right now. We've got to get, like, in case the NSA ever gets our phones. This is like the self-destruct button.
They already know.
They already know. Sorry, Kareem. That's recorded on Bitcoin blockchain.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
No, like seriously, you guys, I think recently I told these guys some stuff that I don't think I've told anybody. Like, and it's not it's because it's just because they're there and they know, and actually I don't mind sharing with really everybody, but I mean it's just something that I didn't talk about with my husband or my friends. It just, I don't know, there's just something about the context of business that really like activates all the feelings of your whole life and teaches you things about your whole life. So the thought that I had a thought recently that these guys have really been helping me with, which was that nobody likes me. And I know, like, it's like a rationally, somebody likes me, my husband likes me, my mom likes me.
Well, they talk to you every day for 4 years, Yolanda. So I'm pretty sure that everyone here likes you.
I think these guys like me most of the time.
But I know what you're saying. That's like limiting beliefs. It's like consciously, you know that's not true, but like subconsciously, you can't let go of it.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's not something I was talking about with anybody, but it came up in this group. And it's like, it's a deep belief that I really want to shine a light on and like kind of get some healing around. So it's like, I thought about this the other day. I was like, wow, I'm so grateful that came up. And it came up with these women, these beautiful faces and this group, because like there's so much safety.
It's like a double cone of silence. Like what we say to each other is kept private.
Yeah. And that's critical too. I think having that safe place where you know that you can trust someone in a mastermind group, right? And it takes, you like, if we formed a mastermind group and the first thing we were like was like, all right, guys, air your dirty laundry about your husband. Go. Like nobody's going to say anything, right? Or if you were like, hey guys, tell me every time you sucked as a parent. Like I want to know the worst of the worst, right? And like that
probably shouldn't open up with that one.
Yeah, you're not going to open a mastermind with that, right? But there's really 3 areas of life. There's like relationships. There's you, like your own limiting beliefs, your self-care, your physical health, your mental health. And then there's business, right? But business is that thing where we can use that vehicle as a relationship tool. Like that's what builds the trust, right? But you, again, people come in and they're like we had a guy one time, we met him live event, and me and Jocelyn were like, hey, and he's like, oh man, I listen to your podcast. We do a podcast too. And I'm like, cool. And he goes, what's your monthly recurring revenue? You want to form a mastermind? And I was like,
we were like,
whoa.
No.
That escalated quickly.
that escalated quickly, right? But it was more like, hey, we're doing some similar things. Like if someone, like the guys that I'm with now, are like the first guy that invited me into a group, he was like, dude, I really like we do similar things, and would you like to come talk business with us, like just for a day or two and just chill and hang out? I was like, yeah, that seems safe. And then it was like, we talked about like, at first it's new people. You're like little things like, hey guys, I didn't make any sales yesterday. It kind of sucked. It kind of got me down, or my latest launch didn't go as good as but that business stuff is the ultimate bridge into intimacy with a group of people. Because once I start trusting you with my failures, the small failures in life, like, oh man, tried to record a podcast yesterday, guys, and I forgot to hit record, but then that leads to, oh, hold on, did I hit record on this? Okay, we're recording. I just reminded myself we are recording. Okay. But like, then it leads to, man, we had a down month. Our revenue went down 10% this month. And dang, that puts me in a deficit and I've got to figure this out. And then it turns into, man, I'm having a really hard time with my son. He's, experiencing some serious anxiety. And then it's like, dang, and all of a sudden you look up and like, you can trust people. And do you find this too? Like, I never have to type into my mastermind group, don't tell anybody that. Do you ever find that? Like, it's like, you don't have to say it anymore after you spend 6 months, a year, 2 years with people, right?
Oh, for sure. Like, yeah, we're talking about all the things and all the time. And I mean, just even recently, there's always like some disaster business move that happens. I mean, like even like recently for me, like I realized like all these leads that I got from Facebook ads, I forgot the little tag in the email thing. And so they aren't added to my list. It's like, oh.
I don't feel bad. We had one time and we had like 3,000 entries in it and it didn't save any of them. We literally missed 3,000 emails. So like stuff like that, like when you do that by yourself, you're like, I mean, terrible.
We're dinosaurs in online business. And I mean, we do stupid stuff every day now.
Still all the time.
I think it helped that we all came from your group because you attract certain people with certain values, and then you started us off and kind of greased the wheels a little bit with sharing things that were we were a little bit more vulnerable. So I think that plays a part. I mean, if somebody wants to go form a mastermind, I think that's great. You have to have some common ground maybe to make it easier. Yeah. I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
Oh, for sure. I think you got to be, the key word is always like-minded. Like, and even deeper than that, the key word for me is always like family focused. Like, it's not just about me and I want to get bigger and stronger and richer and all these things. It's like, no, we want to help each other. Like, we want the business to facilitate our life, and we want it to facilitate our kids' life. And that takes, one, you got to be in the right place. Two, you got to be transparent. You got to be really super transparent, or you're never going to be able to develop that trust where you can go into that. Kareem, did you want to say something?
Yes, I wanted to say that it is key to be in the right place, right time with the right people, because we all have one thing in common. We invested in a mastermind.
Yeah.
So sometimes, when you just collect people along the way, it is nice, but guess what? People will only going to be willing to give what they are willing to invest. Yeah. And you have to, and I think that was very helpful because, well, I don't say bad word, but there is no BS. I'm going to say that,
Okay. You can say the Spanish version of that. I think we can get through the filters, right?
You want me, I will dishonor my family if I say something in Spanish like that. So, but it's true. It is true. We have all these different personalities, but one thing we don't need to convince each other that we want to succeed.
Oh, that's
we
great.
all have the mindset. As I think by the time we met, it for me was my second mastermind that I invested. So we have invested so much personal level, emotional level, so much investment that to quit for us, it has to be something really strong, catastrophic, where, something that you really, maybe you leave it alone, but there is not, we don't need to convince each other to do something. We do it. But in the opposite, sometimes we are so driven that we need each other's personality to just bring sometimes some common sense. It's like, Corinne, really? Is that what you want to do? I mean, they never tell me that sounds stupid, but I know how they're telling me in their own way. I am doing something like, okay, Corinne, like, just think about it. Sometimes I feel even, sometimes even Caroline in the personal level is, I don't mean to discourage you, but I want you to think very well about this because they know me and all ideas and like trying, I don't care, just move along. And they sometimes in their own way, they bring wisdom with the personality and all the stuff. But I wanted to just say that if you want a really good mastermind, you better invest in something that you're going to be surrounded by people that are committed and they no matter what, they want to move forward.
That's why we've learned the same thing. Like, people who pay attention. And there's only two ways in life you can pay for anything, and that's time and money, right? So like, even like the vetting process, like you guys were in a workshop and you guys met each other through this. So you're like, all these people were here. You're in the Flipped Lifestyle community. Like, these people are paying to be a part of a community because they want to grow. So I know they're serious. Like, I don't have to ask myself, like, is this person just dreaming? Or are they actually doing? Because you actually see them doing.
I think what was beneficial for you guys as well is that you had somebody to sort of like corral you together. I think that sometimes people need that. Like, I don't know. I feel like we have that ability, but sometimes people don't. And so, like I'm just a natural organizer. Like, so that's just who I am. And so like, if there's chaos, I'll organize it. And so, I don't realize all the time that that's a skill. I'm like, oh, well, that's just what I do.
And I'm like, Jocelyn, it's not just a skill. It's a superpower. Like, we were at a cheerleading competition last week, and everybody on our team just got up and started walking. Because like they were doing this thing where like they were having like you couldn't go sit in there and watch the kids cheer, and like you had to like go in and like these little pods.
You have to go in groups. Basically,
you could stay with your group, but you couldn't be near other groups, basically. And everyone just stood up out of nowhere and started like, it was like when fish or birds fly in one direction and they all go that way. And I'm like, what are we doing? I just got up and followed everybody. I thought we got kicked out. And I looked up and I said, I asked somebody, I said, why is it time for us to go? And this lady goes, I don't know, but Jocelyn got up, so probably. Like, so she, like, everyone just followed Jocelyn like out the door.
And I always say, like, people are always texting me and like calling me and asking me questions, and I'm like, why is everybody asking me questions?
Because no one else knows what's happening, including me. I don't know what's going on, but you know what's going on. Like, so it is good to have like a place like where all that gathers. But then when you see, like, when you go beyond the pay thing, like, you see people buying courses, or like Cheryl, we met Cheryl at a live event, right? Like, I mean, I know if you got on if you bought a ticket and you go on an airplane, you're at a live event, like you are serious, right? I don't have to vet you beyond that because you put so much investment into
it. You met Yolanda at a live event.
I met Yolanda at a live event.
Chicago.
That's right. And so once it starts stacking like the time on top of the money investment, you look around and you're like, I can't give up on these people, because not only are they investing in themselves, but they're totally investing like in me.
One of the important things about this group for me is that that we're honest with each other. And while Kareem was saying we're gentle with each other, but we're still honest. It's not just like, oh yeah, that's great. Oh yeah, do that. Like,
you're awesome all the time.
Yeah, I think it's cool because, when we have a close relationship with someone, it's like sometimes we can't see the most obvious thing. And this happens with us all the time. I know. Sometimes something's just so obvious, but like that person just cannot see it. And I feel like if you have a close relationship with someone, you can say, hey, do you remember when this happened? And remember you did this and it didn't work. Like, this is the same thing, and they're like, oh yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's the kind of relationship that you guys have with each other, which is awesome.
I remember tell me if you guys have ever had a moment like this. And, we were probably, when did I go on that houseboat trip first time? Like 17 or 16?
I don't know.
When I joined this group I'm kind of running with now, right? I remember I was kind of like not wanting to be so transparent. Like, I mean, we're transparent enough on our show at the time. And
Well, first of all,
whatever.
it's a bunch of dudes on a
It's a
houseboat,
bunch
so
of dudes.
they're going to be a little guarded, you know.
Yeah, right. It's a little guarded. We were all kind of new. Only two guys really knew each other hardcore, and like, you know what I'm saying? Like they knew each other, but everybody was still getting to know each other. And I was kind of like guarded and kind of doing this and kind of doing, you know, a little bro speak, little entrepreneur stuff, little alpha dog. You know, it's how it goes, right?
It's a bunch of dudes on a houseboat.
It's a bunch
as
of
I
dudes
said.
on a houseboat, right? And I will never forget this. We had developed a relationship like over time, so we were getting more comfortable with each other. And I remember right in the middle of saying something during a hot seat, I said something, someone kind of challenged me, and I was like, no, I just dismissed it. And I remember this one dude looked at me and said, "Shut up." I'm like, "I will whoop you, son, right here on this boat. I'll drown you in this. I'll leave you here." And he goes, "Dude, just shut up." He goes, and he's like, "Until you tell us, until you're transparent fully, and you stop trying to gloss everything over, right? I can't help you, and nobody can help you." And that was and like, I remember the whole group was like, "What? You know, like what just happened?" And like, have you guys had moments like that though, where you're like, you know, I'm gentle, but man, you need to hear some truth right now, like in your life. And then and you look back at that moment and you're like, dang, if I had not invested my time and treasure with that person up to that point, and they had not had the courage and the trust in me to know I'm not going to be like, "Well, screw you, I'm not your friend anymore," right? To say that to me, I would have went down a rabbit hole that I should not have done. Can you guys point back to any moments like that? I mean, you don't have to get into
any
gory
specific
details.
thing, you know, that just kind of like
But can you
rings in your
remember
head
moments like
from
that?
another person.
Yeah.
I think Rena should answer to that one.
You think who?
Rena.
Oh, Rena. Hold on, you're getting called out here.
Uh-oh, what is it? I mean, there's always moments.
No. I think it depends about the personality. Because this is the thing.
Who's the enforcer in this group? That's what I'm asking.
You can tell. I know the one.
Karim, what is that expression that you have for me?
Oh, no
Sin
pelos
pelos
en
en
la
la
lengua.
lengua.
No pelos en la lengua. Yes, like no. I don't think that sounds good in English, because it's basically no hairs in the tongue. So just say it. No, so I always tell Yolanda, no pelos en la lengua. Just say it.
That's a great saying. No hairs on the tongue. That sounds like something the Southern people would say. No hairs on the tongue.
I think what she's saying is like, don't, how I took it to mean the times that Karim has said that to me, is just like, I'm saying it pretty straight. But having said that, I don't think, none of us have ever said anything remotely like "shut up."
That's a dude thing.
Well, yeah, that's a woman
And
thing.
I didn't mean to do that, but I think when I think about the times where we have some, because we have been honest with each other. So if you are honest in your relationships, you have ups and you have downs. And there have been moments where we didn't even know what we were doing. Everything was just chaotic. And then, so Rena will bring this makes sense, like, like some sense of direction and things like that. She would wear like the mama hat and so sometimes,
Rena's the mama hat. See, that's what I was looking for, the mama hat.
Now, maybe I'm saying this for the first time to you, Rena. Sorry about that. So,
It all comes out now.
Yes, but I don't know. I just feel like the most important part, a very basic need for human beings is they need to feel accepted, right? No matter what. And the moment you feel like you don't feel accepted, you will pull back. Things are gonna go different because it's an emotionally. So for me, it's we like Rena's input, because sometimes it just, there were moments where we needed to somebody needed to say, stop. What are we doing? Let's refocus.
Time out. Right. Time out. Carolyn.
Yeah, that brought back a memory. So this is an uncomfortable thing to share. But we've had, overall, the group has had times when we had to bring ourselves back. We had some difficulty, but it's like anything else, like a family, up and down a little. But I know a couple of times I got upset and thought like, well, maybe I just don't belong in this group. And then one time Karim, she called me out on it. Do you remember that? You said you can't say you're going to leave and then not leave. Like you have to, something like that, right?
Where was I? Whoa.
I don't remember how you said it, but you were just like, I think I was upset about something someone said, or I was worried about something someone said. And you said, I didn't say that.
Oh, yes.
Yolanda didn't say it, or whoever, she's like, don't generalize to the whole group.
Well, one of the Caroline's superpower is being sensitive. She is sensitive. And I do remember you sometimes questioning, do I belong here or no? And I was just like, stop that. You know what I'm saying? You belong here. You stop questioning that. And I think it was, and I felt like it came out of something that I say. And I kept saying to her, I did not say that. I did not say that. And I knew I could say that. I think I could put the pressure because she will not give up on me in our friendship, Yes. So we have one of those.
So you mean masterminds are not all sunshine and rainbows? No. Get out of here.
It's not all strategy.
Me. It's not all strategy and just talking about taking over the world. Hey, here's another thing that's interesting is, and I think this comes from the fact that like these close personal relationships where you can start talking about struggles in life, or you can start talking about struggles in marriage or parenting and these other things outside of business. Masterminds are often born out of business discussion and business talks and getting, movement and growth in our businesses. Right. But what happens in the natural evolution of a group, and this is why these junk masterminds that people just buy their way into all the time, you know what I'm saying? Like that don't have a like-mindedness, like you're just really putting random people together and you're not like thinking it through from a strategic standpoint, like, should I even be with these people? Right. Like when they do that, if like one or two people in the mastermind all of a sudden blow up, you can get that feeling of like, oh man, they're making triple the money I'm making now. Do I even belong here? Wow, their launch went really good and mine sucked. Do they even want me here anymore? And we forget that like the point of a mastermind group is to make us better in every area. And like you can have different people at different business levels, right? But then maybe one guy is just content being at that certain level. And it's just like, yeah, I like where I am. Or this person is really, really great at being married. Like, how do they do that? And the person who's really, really great at business needs that person in that season of their life. And this person needs this person to help them grow their business. Or maybe this person gets out of shape and gets unhealthy and starts having health problems, but the other person inspires them to be physically fit. And what we can pull from all the different areas of our life. It's not like we all must make the exact same money all the time. We all must be doing the exact same calendar all the time. Like you need each other in different ways and in different places.
That definitely resonates for me because of all of us. I think I'm making the least money. I mean, I had a full-time job and like on the
to be fair, your business was travel and that stopped in the entire earth. So let's be fair here, right? It's okay, Yolanda.
There's that going on, but that is a thought sometimes. But I've never had the feeling of just like I'm not okay because I'm not, making enough money or something. And that, and just a few minutes ago, I was thinking as well. Each of us has such a different. I mean, thank God that we came together in this mastermind. There was no way we would have known each other otherwise. Like, in the other parts of our lives, we wouldn't have come together at all.
Oh, because you met in the community, basically.
Because we met in your mastermind, right? Like in our month-long specific little
workshop
group.
Yeah.
Yeah. We wouldn't have come together besides that. But each of us has such a different, besides, like we're in different parts of the country, and we just have different perspectives and ways of approaching things. So if I bring a problem to the group, or if any of us brings a problem, you're going to get like 4 or 5 different perspectives on it.
Wow.
And each one is so, and sometimes Carolyn's perspective is really what I need that day, or sometimes it's Kareem, or sometimes it's Rena, or sometimes it's Cheryl. Like it just, it's amazing what a huge benefit that is. Yeah. To get those different perspectives. And sometimes I need the super gentle, like whatever. And sometimes I need the kind of like, just like get over it and kind of move on, kind of thing. But having all of those different perspectives from each of us is so, and Cheryl's our like PR, expert. It's like a genius at headlines. Like anytime I've got like a headline thing, I'm like, Cheryl, like, can you have an idea about this? Rena is just like, keep it simple. Like there's just like this total refrain in my brain. It's like,
I love
okay,
watching
keep it
everyone
simple, keep it
laugh when you
simple.
say these things because everyone else thinks the exact same thing. Like you've got your identities like within the
Right?
group.
Oh, we
Yeah.
have our little sayings like Yolanda's keep what is it? Keep your side of the street clean, or take what you
Right.
like and leave the rest.
That's
Right.
amazing. Yeah.
Right.
I'm writing these down. You know, I love catchphrases. I might have these. Jocelyn's like, don't order a t-shirt, Shane.
No.
Stop making t-shirts.
Also, it's just like the idea that we have this agreement now. Like, well, I wouldn't say what formal agreement, but I would, it's an agreement that we are here to contribute to each other. So, because I know, like on Voxer, it's easy just to start like thinking like, oh, it's just like my personal recording, and I can like spew everything, and not really worry about responding to other people
That's important.
actually creating a conversation. So so it's just wonderful in that we have that agreement now. Like we are here for each other. We're not here just like an empty vacuum sounding board to receive your spew.
Yes.
So like we definitely absolutely here to share and collaborate and contribute and support. So that part is like super super important, and
And
that's
that
like the
is
part that
hard to
gets me.
find, you know?
Yeah, and that's what gets me, like what gets my blood boiling. It's like, oh, I don't want to listen to, if you're gonna just like spew off
Well,
and not
that's the
really.
difference between a taker and a giver. And like it's also that's another reason why filters are really important. Like if you get someone in your group or invite someone in your group and you just realize they're just there to talk about them and they're a taker, which is how a lot of people do try to get into masterminds, right? Like what can they do for me? It just destroys the whole concept of the mastermind, right? Like it's like, no, I'm here to give and find out what you need. And there's reciprocity baked into it, because if it's just what can I get, you're not going to get anything, because nobody's going to want to give you anything when you do that. Cheryl, I think you had your hand up a second ago too.
Yeah, I was just going to say I was thankful for whenever we started, whether it was 2015, 2016, that I signed up for whatever umbrella group was created. I don't know who did it. And I probably just put my name in and then jumped on a call. But we are built for what happened in 2020. In some
Oh, man.
cases, we couldn't leave the house for weeks on end, couldn't see friends. And what's been so powerful is we are now friends. We didn't start out that way. We were strangers from around the country. We are so different. And I do think that's a very good thing, but we're all different. We have different ways of looking at things, which we've all learned over the last 4 or 5 years, 5, 6 years. But now I look at all these women and we're friends. And we may not live next to each other. I'm pretty sure that at some point we're going to see each other in person at some point.
Y'all may just start a neighborhood someday and all move to the same place. We'll just retire
Wouldn't that
together
be fun?
in a village.
I mean, and then the last year, we haven't seen people in so many months, but we have been going strong.
Yeah. Yeah. And it pushes you through. Like, can you, if anybody's listening to this, don't take this the wrong way. Please, Lord, don't take this the wrong way, because everybody takes everything wrong. You know what I mean? But like,
yeah,
I feel sorry for all of you out there that are alone. I really do, man. When the world started ending, literally back in March of 2020, like at first we're like texting back and forth and voxing back and forth, and it's like we're kind of like joking, like, hey, is this really the end of the world? Hey, what's going on? No, this really is. This is bad. Like, go to the store, get food. Like, it was like crazy, but like I never felt like I didn't have anyone to go through it with. Right. Like not just my family, not just like I had someone to text and say, hey man, how are you explaining this to your kids? Right. Like, hey man, how are you being strong for your family right now? Hey man, what are you going to do for one of our, Yolanda, one of our mastermind members was in the speaking industry, and like the whole speaking industry shut down. And he was like,
no events.
No events. Like, how are you going to train people to speak and work in the speaking industry? Our cousin was a live event coordinator and a wedding planner, right? And like, but my guy buddy was speaking. He's like, guys, what do you think? And like, we just kind of are like, circle the wagons, bro. Do this, do that, do this, do that. And he made more money during the pandemic than he had ever made in a year. But like, he didn't have to figure it out alone. He didn't have to sit there and be all alone. And like, I feel sorry for anybody out there. God bless you. If we can help you in any way, get more involved in the community, because Nobody deserves to have to go through stuff like that by themselves, whether it's a worldwide tragedy or a personal tragedy. Like those things can be just as heavy as everything else.
Well, now that you say that, one of the ways you two can do is you guys need to launch more masterminds for your community.
Well, it just so happens that we've got a little secret project in the wings.
So because,
well, it's not so secret now. The waiting list is out there.
And I think this is because you two are powerful, and I maybe, you know, one of the things that maybe the new people that are coming, I don't know, you guys have now thousands of members, but we were so blessed to get to know your human side and your not just your business side, but your, I don't know, so I have a glimpse of who you guys are. I still remember those, you know, those calls where, you know, I was in the call and they just seeing your kids running around and doing things, and I mean, those things that you guys feel like, oh my God, we need to keep it together. It's like, for me, it was such a blessing to have mentors and coaches that I wanted to look like. That's what I want, you know. Like right now, we are in the interview, and all my kids are like, do not show up, but they are all here doing things around, you know. But you know, so I feel for at home. So I just wanted to say to anybody out there that is listening that the moment Shane and Jocelyn say we're having a mastermind, jump on it, because it is priceless.
Agreed.
You don't only get the coaching, the mentoring, the ideas, the business, but the community part. And they already have paid thousands of dollars to attract the right people to the mastermind. So I just wanted to say that out there. And another thing is, you know, about the being together. It's not just helping each other, but also seeing the transformation in us. We are not the same people. And, and through relationships, we celebrate not only, you know, when you have small accomplishments, but for us, I celebrate when I see these ladies and I hear what they're doing or what they want to do. It's like their mindset is so different than we were, like, you know, like before. The mindset was like, how much is to create a logo? To know is like, I need a VA and all those things. Yeah, with Rena right now, we are all watching Rena create her empire, her flamenco empire, and we are so happy, so excited for each other. Even Yolanda, did she say I started small, but with everything that she knows, what she did, how the way she created a new business, it was quick. It was so like to the point that it was not the same. So I think, and also Carolyn and Cheryl and me, that, you know, things that I'm doing now that are different, I am in a place where I'm being celebrated, and and being recognized, my transformation. I'm not being placed in a box. I mean, these ladies have, you know, helped me realize so many things.
And also going back to what you said about like being alone. And I think like so much, at least for me, when I first started, it was like, I'll figure it out by myself. You know, I don't have that money to ask for help or to get help or you know, or I don't want to be imposing, or I don't even know what questions to ask. But definitely in the very beginning, it's just like, I can do it on my own. I'll figure it out myself. I'll do all the free content. But then, you know, once you pay that money, once you make that personal investment to learn from someone that can actually teach you, it's just like such a no-brainer, or it's just like a revelation. Like, really, I wasted all that time trying to figure out, you know, a logo when I could have just, you know, paid someone and get it over with in like a day. And it's just ridiculous. So now, you know, we're all about like, we're paying for this, we're paying for that, we're paying for that. And just the rewards they're immediate practically.
It's amazing.
The growth that I've seen, or the difference in us, is that a lot of us are sort of looking at a movement more than just, you know, business to make money every day.
Yeah.
You know, Rena's working on the mind, body, and spirit of a dancer. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Like, it's so much more than just dancing. And the same thing with Kareem's, you know, going forward for the Latina community to change how, you know, well, you can describe it better than me, all of you, but everybody here has something that we're trying to change in the world. And I think that's from the strength of having each other.
Yeah. Nobody changes the world alone. Yeah. Nobody changes the world alone, no matter how good you think you are.
And
you know?
that's the cool thing about just our community in general, because I think that everyone in our community is here for the same reason. You know, we want to make a bigger impact on the world. Yes, we want to make money. All of us here want to make money, but we also want to help people or to make some type of impact that's bigger than ourselves. And I think that's really cool.
Nobody's just trying to have a 997 thing. They sell as many as they can on their next webinar. Everybody's trying to make positive change. And I got to tell the Mother Teresa story, Jocelyn. It comes up every podcast, but I have to. Like it's my favorite quote in the planet Earth, and I love it. And I've told this every podcast I've recorded this week. I've done this, but like, you know, my favorite quote on the planet is from Mother Teresa. This reporter asked her, "Do you really think you can change the world?" And he was like all sarcastic, and you know, you're just a nun in the middle of wherever she was and whatever. And she like laughed in his face. Like little Mother Teresa just laughed at this dude. And she said, "No, of course I don't think that I can change the world alone, but I can pick up my stone and cast it out upon the waters and cause many ripples." And like, that's really what we're doing in our businesses, in our masterminds, in our communities, is we're helping people. Like, and this epiphany came to me and Jocelyn really early, before Flipped Lifestyle ever existed. We had someone record one of the first testimonials for Elementary Librarian, and or Jocelyn asked her community for them, and I edited it together. I was like cutting them into the smaller pieces. Every one of them, nobody thanked Jocelyn for the lesson plans. Nobody was like, "That Dr. Seuss worksheet was amazing." Right? Nobody said that. Like every single one of them, I'm gonna get really emotional. Every single one of them were just like, "Oh my God, I got to go to my kid's ball game. Oh my goodness, I'm always stressed out in July and I never go on vacation, but this year I know my lesson plans are covered."
Two of my favorites. One, she was standing in front of a swing set and her kids were like playing in the background, and she was like, "Thank you for creating these lesson plans so I don't have to do this right now. I can spend time with them." And then another was on a cruise ship.
Yeah, she was standing there. We couldn't even hear her, like any words she was saying, but she looked so happy.
And we totally used it anyway, even though you really couldn't hear it.
We just put it on there. And that's when I think I realized that, like, your business is your passion for helping others and how you do that. And then it's also your mission for how you connect with other people and how you connect other people together. And like, it just really warms my soul to see you guys here so connected after all these years.
For all this time. I mean, it's awesome.
This
is the feeler. This is the thinker here.
Yeah.
So,
I feel it, man. Like it just like, this is like exactly, you guys have always been my dream, like to see deep community of people helping people together. And it just really makes me even more inspired to like keep pushing forward and creating more of this.
And I know we're not supposed to have favorites, but you guys are some of our favorites.
Yeah, you're some of our favorites.
Gracias.
All right, so I got one more question, and then we'll wrap up before I just turn into a blubbering mess. Okay, so along with being not alone, like we have people in our life. They're called family. Right. And like, I think sometimes it's hard. Like Jocelyn and I didn't have to go through this original, I think, because we were all together. But one thing I do hear a lot is, how do you convince your spouse that, like, okay, one, they're like, you're talking to these people in Voxer every minute of the day. Like you're investing time and treasure and things like that into each other. Right. Like first it's like, hey, I'm going to join this workshop and these masterminds. And you're like, you're paying for this, and it's like, oh, by the way, I'm going to spend probably at least 2 hours a day with these people or whatever, like Voxering and doing that thing, or we're going to meet once a week or whatever,
or
like,
get together in person sometime.
Whatever. Like, how did your spouses view this, and now how do they view it when they see you, like, stepping out in your power and your truth and doing those things?
For me, I mean, like, it's just like, what in the beginning of, he just didn't really understand, like, you're going to do what online,
a mastermind? Is this a cult? What are you doing?
or even just like paying for joining the community in the beginning. It was just like, wait, you're going to do what, how much? And like, okay, but then I have my membership, and people were joining, and it was like, oh, okay, that's all right. And so now he just, he knows like the whole Voxer ladies, and he's like, yeah, okay, that's great. And he just sees me, like, I'm going off to go walk my dog and listen to the ladies and talk to the ladies. So in the beginning, they definitely kind of question, like, what are you talking about online what?
Yeah, but when they see the improvement in your life and your business and your soul, they're like, you should never quit that group because I like you this way, right?
Well, again, I'm in a house full of boys, so I don't think they understand the trajectory. So they see the success. They also see I'm still the only woman in the house, so they see me complain a little bit about them, but they don't really know the cause of it. They don't know that indirectly it's the relationships that I've been able to build through our group, through the relationships I've made here and other places. They don't necessarily see that as the result. I will say that all my kids know who all of you are. We don't anything that's personal, they don't, but when they hear a voice, I'm like, oh, is that Rena? Oh, is that Kareem? And so they do know that. My husband doesn't, but COVID was not good for us because they were all here. They were all here, but that's why you have headphones.
That's exactly right.
Exactly. And you need some ladies to talk to, right, Cheryl?
Yes. Yeah. You got yeah. And like, that's even my kids are like, because we Vox all the time. I mean, it's all like we run our team with Voxer, we run our masterminds with Voxer, and
we talk to each other sometimes.
We talk to each other in the same house on Voxer sometimes.
Oh my!
Right? Yes, it's ridiculous. But like they know, they do hear all these people, and like my son will even say things like, "What does so and so think?" And like, did you ask your friends on Voxer? And like they get that. They see mom and dad not having to go like, what kind of ripple is that going to cause? That like they see us reaching out of ourselves for help, and then they will eventually be like, I want that. Like I want friends like that.
Yeah, with my husband was easy. With him was just show me the money. So I showed him the money. So show me the money. But there was a period of time where he had to just trust me that I kind of. But then he's like, okay, how long? We have specific goals. My husband needed to hear specific goals and time frame, and we work it out, and he saw the money coming, and he's like, okay, I could see that. With my family, my kids, the way I communicate with the ladies and everything has completely influenced even my own kids. My son, he's 16, he's starting his own business. And a lot of the things that he is bringing, he's already belonging to a mastermind himself. And
wow, that's crazy.
I know. And he's going to pursue business in school. And sometimes now that he's putting his business together, he tells me, can you ask your Voxer ladies? He even asked me, can I join Deep Voxer? It's like, no. No. And another thing is, and I know, and you know that I hired Cheryl's son to do some stuff for my business.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. That's trust right there, because you might got to fire the kid someday.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
It's okay if you have to. It's
right
okay.
There.
Amazing. He's wonderful. But what I'm saying to you is that you have to make some steps of faith, and you can only make those steps when first you have to believe that you can do that, and then you need others to believe in you. So just wanted to say that.
It's amazing. Jocelyn, did you have? I know you guys got stuff to do, but I have a feeling
we could talk to you guys.
This might turn into a 4-hour conversation if we don't. I saw Rita just run outside. This is real life, y'all. I don't know what Rita was doing right there. She's got a kid at a street or something, but like. Jocelyn,
I have one more thing. So I just if all of you all want to speak to this is fine, but at least a couple of you, I just want to know, like, where do you think you might be today, professionally or personally, if you didn't have this group?
Oh man, that's a great question.
In the gutter.
I would have quit.
I'd have a job.
Yeah.
I'd have a job.
Now we have our fake jobs online, right? Yeah. What do you mean? In the gutter is extreme, Rita? Like, well, I guess
actually, no. I would have been because I teach live classes, and this whole online component has given me so much freedom. So it would just been like I would have been stressed out. I would have been struggling constantly and overworked, because like just if it was like trading time with dollars, I would just be dancing in the dance studio every day and missing out on my kid's life. Absolutely.
And your studio would have got shut down, or it did get shut down.
It's been closed. It's been closed an entire year.
Wow.
I probably would be emotionally bankrupt and probably maybe wasted a lot of time and money. because these ladies, we are very smart and strategic. I like this about us. So it has saved me time, money, decision making, emotionally too, because I don't need therapists. I have my therapist. Wow. But I would not be where I am today. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I would still be in my job 100%, working 40 hours at my University of California job, working every freaking night and every freaking weekend day, all day, and just burned out.
Wow. It's unbelievable.
I think that's where I would be.
Oh man, this is awesome. We need to talk to you guys more because man, my spirit and my soul is going to be going into this weekend. Absolutely amazing. And we actually have a vision statement written out. And one part of our vision statement for our entire team that we actually meet quarterly and read this out loud to our people. And one part of it talks about like how we feel about our members and our community. And in this one paragraph, we wrote, we have parental level pride in every win or success story that happens in our community. I'm gonna cry again. I'm gonna do it. But like that's actually a part of our vision in the Flipped Lifestyle community. And like when I see you guys today, because we have the amazing privilege to see everyone's journey from the beginning. And like, I can see your shoulders higher. I can see your faces glowing brighter than when we first knew you. And like, it just really makes me happy to see that you guys have found each other and that you guys have done so much and you will continue to do amazing things. And you're going to inspire others in this community and your communities and movements of your own. And we really are proud of you guys. And man, what an example for everybody out there with what's possible, not only online, but in your families and your relationships and in your life. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for being on the podcast and sharing this. This was awesome. Absolutely amazing.
Thank you so much.
All right, y'all. That wraps up my interview with the Voxy ladies, man. That was an awesome conversation. I will cherish and remember that conversation for the rest of my life. To see the impact that a mastermind had on those ladies, on their families, on their children, on their spouses, heck, even in their own membership communities, it's truly inspiring. And that's what I think about whenever I think about our masterminds. Jocelyn and I have been in a number of masterminds along the way, and each one of them played a pivotal, critical part in all of our success, whether it was our early business success on the internet or having a trusted network of advisors that we could lean on to help us have a better marriage, help us be better parents. Masterminds have always been a big part of our journey. And it was not easy to find and join a really, really good mastermind. When we started this online business journey, y'all, we didn't know what we were doing. We were school teachers from Southeast Kentucky. Nobody understood online business. Nobody understood entrepreneurship. And we didn't have a lot of people that we could lean into. And then I heard that famous quote from Jim Rohn that said, "You are the average of the 5 people you hang out with the most." I knew that we needed to up our average if we were going to be able to live up to our potential and make our dreams a reality. Maybe that's you right now. Do you have big dreams for your family, big dreams for your marriage, big dreams for yourself and your business, but nobody around you gets your dream. Nobody around you gets where you want to go. And you sit around thinking, man, I wish I had a bunch of entrepreneurs I could sit around and talk to. But not just any entrepreneurs. You want to surround yourself with people who value memories over millions, people who prefer freedom over fame, people who believe that legacy is a worthier goal than Lamborghinis. But then you have to ask yourself, like, how do I find a group like that? How do I join a group like that? It was really, really hard for us guys in the beginning too, to find a really high quality mastermind filled with the people that shared the same values we do. But after talking to a mentor of mine, after checking in with my masterminds, and especially after this conversation with the Voxy ladies, I realized an untapped potential inside the Flipped Lifestyle community. Over the years, we have truly gathered a community of hundreds and hundreds of family-focused entrepreneurs from around the world. And on top of that, we've created a network of thousands of other people who listen to the Flipped Lifestyle podcast, or have become successful alumni in our program. And just like we helped Kareem and Cheryl and Rena and Carolyn and Yolanda find each other, I've realized that we have already collected these family-focused entrepreneurs in the same place. Right now, we're a big community. But what if we took all of our experience with masterminds and everything we've learned about small group leadership, and we created a mastermind program? What if we helped all of our listeners and members to connect together in these small groups, just like the Voxy ladies? What if we could introduce like-minded people and not only help them get together and form masterminds, but what if I had hand-picked mentors and leaders to actually go in and facilitate the mastermind? What if you didn't have to fly all over the world and try to meet the right people? What if you didn't have to try to work your way into a mastermind of higher level entrepreneurs that really didn't even want to give you the time of day anyway? What if we made it easy to just say, hey, I want this. I want a trusted group of advisors around me to help me in hard times. I want a bunch of wise business owners that are going through everything just like I am, so that I have somebody I could bounce ideas off of, so I could have people to inspire me in my personal life to go to the next level. Or when I'm having a bad day with my husband or wife, or I'm having a bad day raising my kids, I'm surrounded by wise counselors who are going through the same struggles, or maybe even are a little step ahead of me, to help me get through those obstacles. And that line of thought led me to a new program that we are launching right now this week in the Flipped Lifestyle community. It's called Flipped Lifestyle Life Groups. These are small mastermind groups of 8 to 10 people, led by officially hired by me, hand-picked Flipped Lifestyle facilitators that meet together on a weekly basis to talk about their wins, talk about their failures, to combine their wisdom and their knowledge and help each other succeed. These are people who want to excel in every area of life. I don't want you to think this is some kind of business coaching program. While I'm going to be personally involved in leading the Life Groups program, and I'm always going to be obsessed with memberships and online business, masterminds and life groups are really designed to take every area of your life to the next level. We want you to have business excellence. We're going to make sure we focus on that for sure, especially in online business. But this is for people who just feel alone and want to do better in every area of their life. People who want better mental, physical, and spiritual health. People who want to have better relationships with their wife, their husband, their kids. People who want to expand their network, serve their community. People who want to build a life around their passions. People who have a mission to impact the world. Masterminds filled with 2 a.m. friends, people you can call when sales drop to zero, people you can text at any time, day or night, if you've got an emergency and you know they're going to text back or pick up the phone call. A true mastermind of like-minded, family-focused people who want to help each other do great just as much as they want to see themselves do great too. This is going to be an application-only process, guys. We are going to handpick everybody that makes it into the Life Groups program. We're going to read every word of every application, and we're going to make sure that the people that make it into this group are the people you want and need around you to take your life to the next level. This is going to take the stress of masterminds out of your hands. You don't have to start a mastermind. You don't have to look for a mastermind. You don't have to hope the people inside it are high quality. All you have to do is apply, and if you're chosen, we will set you up in a great mastermind of your own. Flip Lifestyle Life Groups are going to be men's groups and ladies groups, and we are going to be launching in May with 2 of each. These beta members are going to have unparalleled access to me and my team and will help us shape the program going forward. If you want to learn more about Flipped Lifestyle Life Groups, all you have to do is go to flippedlifestyle.com/lifegroups. That's FLIPPED, lifestyle.com/LIFEGROUPS. flippedlifestyle.com/lifegroups. You can learn more about the program. You can get an application and fill it out today. We are so excited about this program, guys, because we want for you what happened with the Voxy ladies. We want you to come into the Flipped Lifestyle community. We want you to feel at home. We want you to feel comfortable. We want you to feel cared for and loved. And then we want to find your 2 a.m. friends. We want you to find your life group. We want you to find your mastermind. We know how to connect people. We know how to lead groups. And you know we are always going to be family-first entrepreneurs. Those are the values that people will find inside the Flipped Lifestyle Life Groups program. There are a lot of people on the waiting list, and spots are going to be very limited. We do not plan to keep this program open all the time. It could potentially only open for spots every couple of months. So if you're looking for a mastermind, if you want a mastermind and you want to improve your life, you need to go and fill out an application today. Now, before I go, you know I always end every episode of the Flipped Lifestyle podcast with a Bible verse. And I got a really special verse for you today. It's Ecclesiastes 4:12. The Bible says, though one may be overpowered, two can defend themselves, and a cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken. I'm telling you, the good Lord in Ecclesiastes told you, you better be in a mastermind. It's too hard to go through business. It's too hard to go through life. It's too hard to do marriage and parenting and have all these relationships alone. And you no longer have to do that. Head over to flippedlifestyle.com/lifegroups today, and let's see if we can find you a mastermind to join. That's all the time I have for this week. Thank you guys so much for listening. Can't wait to be back with you here again. Until then, get out there, take action. Do whatever it takes to flip your life. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Tell it, Carolyn. I'm all in for funny stories.
There you go. So we hadn't met in person for a long time. And then I was going to meet Rena at an event in California. Do you remember this?
Mm-hmm.
And have you seen pictures of Rena in her flamenco dresses?
Oh yeah. It's super fancy. Let's put it that way. It's super fancy.
It's unbelievably beautiful, right? And poised and gorgeous, and and she just looks so tall. And so I was so nervous. And then I finally said, I just have to say something. So I came on the Voxer and I said, Rena, I just have to let you know that because this can be really awkward, that I am only 4'11". And you might feel weird being next to me, being so tall. And what did you say, Rena?
Oh, I pretend to be 4'11". I'm actually 4'9".
That's amazing. Oh man, that's awesome.
It was hilarious.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that's absolutely amazing, Carolyn. That's so good. One more thing before we go. Thank you so much for listening to the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast. If you love the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast, if we bring a little joy and a little happiness and we bring some knowledge into your life every single week, could you do us a favor? Go to Apple Podcast and hit subscribe. Download a few of the podcast episodes onto your phone. Apple's algorithm loves seeing downloads and it loves seeing those subscribes. And please leave us an honest review over on Apple Podcast. That'll help us grow the show, expand the mission, and reach more people so that we can help them change their family's future as well. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.